Top 5 Crazy Royals. When someone is talked about as being crazy, they usually aren't the ones calling the shots. However, there have been a few notable cases of royal blood ruling countries much to the chagrin of their subjects or much to the delight of their parents who act as regents. Here are our top 5 wacko royals. Number 5. Crazy at 5, Juana of Castile. Joan the Mad was crazy about her husband, Philippe the Handsome. She was known as being obsessed with her husband even after his death. Perhaps this was why she never actually ruled Castile, because she was crazy and a necrophiliac. While she was busy mourning her husband, continually caressing his rotting corpse, which she brought with her on a tour of Spain in the 1500s, her father and son wanted to rule for her. She was rendered essentially powerless and locked away for the rest of her life. Just shows that love will drive a person mad. Number 4. Insane at number 4, Charles VI of France. Known as Charles the Mad, many historians think King Charles VI of France suffered from schizophrenia. Shortly after an attempted murder of a friend in 1392, Charles took an army after the supposed perpetrator, only to turn on his knights, killing one and injuring others before being dragged off his horse and falling into a coma. Because he acted bonkers, he was later removed from power but not dethroned, since he lived for some 30 years after his first fit of the crazies. Number 3. Coming in at number 3, Carlos II of Spain. Inbreeding can only make genetic and mental defects stronger, as in the case of Juana the Mad's descendant, King Carlos II of Spain. He was severely disfigured from birth with a huge elongated head, a misshapen body and a jaw that could not close so he could eat. Meanwhile, he was relegated to being an idiot from birth, since he was hardly taught anything and only went from an infantile brain to idiocy in his older years. Carlos's relatives all died, leaving him the throne and an overbearing mother to rule in his stead. However, he thought of himself as bewitched because of his suffering, while in today's world, most of what he suffered would have been recognized as being caused by inbreeding. Number 2. Appearing at 2, Afonso VI of Portugal. The glutton took ill at the age of 3 and was left partially paralyzed on his left side, as well as mentally unstable for the rest of his life. Afonso was delighted when he saw his older 2 siblings die as teenagers, declaring, "Hooray, now I will be king of Portugal." Unfortunately, the future king was a little loose in the head, loving savagery and loving food to the point of being called a glutton. In his final days, he was confined. It was said he wore a groove in the floor from pacing, since he couldn't do anything else. Number 1. And topping the chart at number 1 is Charles IX of France. Unlike Afonso, King Charles IX of France actually took his savagery on others in his court, including once on his sisters as well as on other humans and animals. Due to a disfiguration, he was dubbed the Snotty King and was given to fits of rage and sadism, though he was a mama's boy. In 1561, at the age of 10, Charles took the throne after all the other eligible heirs died. Through no fault of his though. Like Carlos, it was his overbearing mother that ruled long after her regency ended when he came of age.